Hi guys! In the previous video, I've covered the definition, function, types and format of a personal statement. Then I gave you some points of do's and don'ts that you should bear in mind, and an example of a very boring and demotivating personal statement. Now, I'm going to show you how to make your personal statement interesting so that the reader wants to read your essay, enjoy along from the beginning to the end. The key word here is story. A letter of recommendation. The reader looks for keywords and certain qualities such as independent, hardworking, critical thinking. However, to write an impressive personal statement, you need a story, a compelling story about yourself. A story means it doesn't look like a resume in paragraph form in which you give characteristics and then details to support them. For example, I am a passionate person in both study and work. In whatever task, I will do it wholeheartedly and love what I do. I will take a lot of time to think and plan before starting to do it. A paragraph like that is boring and nerve-killing and cannot help you to stand out. So, you should take the time to think about what story you want to tell your reader. Imagine one day someone asks you, "Tell me something about you that I would be so impressed and I can't forget you." What I would like you to do is to take some time to sit alone, quiet and seriously think of your life since you started to be aware of everything around you. And then you should ask and answer these questions by yourself. Do I have anything that I really want to do in life? What are the key moments of my life that have strong impacts on how I am now? What are my biggest failures in study or work? What I did or reacted and how it made me learn more about myself? How did I grow through those key moments? All of these things that happened to you, that changed you and made you grow up, play the role of small bricks that make a big castle of yourself now, your personality, your strengths, motivation, interest, passion. You may want to turn on some relaxation music to give you a peaceful feeling. Or if you feel pressure thinking too deep, you can take your motorbike and have a ride around Westlake or sit in your favorite coffee shop just to make yourself a comfortable and quiet environment so that you can let go of current concerns and start the journey of finding your inner self, your true needs and wants. Only when you take the time to think deep and realize yourself more, you have ideas for your story. Now, to make it easier for you, I'm going to give you some topics that experts and school professors who are readers of bunches of personal statements want to read. First, write a list of 2 to 3 of your worst failures at school. Make sure that each of them was a learning experience for you. What did you learn from them? How did they change you? Or enthusiasm about the subject that you are after. Remember, you should describe it as a process, connecting your earlier past, present, and potentially thriving future. Or third, 1 to 2 key moments in your life that you find relevant, that had impacts on the you now and what you did in the event. Describe that, go deep. Those reveal yourself most and make you sound very honest. Besides, you are motivated to write about them because we, as human beings, are strongly affected by emotions. We love to talk about ourselves. In this case, you are having a chance to talk about yourself, so why not go for it? Just bear in mind this. Be interesting. If you are a reader or listener, you will want to hear something interesting, new, fresh, or funny, not the boring and fake story of the big bad example in the previous video. So, how to be interesting when you write the story? I'm going to tell you one technique that is simple, but if you apply it, I'm sure you will leave an impression. It is to name the key point that you want the reader to remember about your story. For example, If you want to tell a story to show that you are a very ambitious person, you can have two choices. First, when I was a little kid, I liked to watch political and economical news on TV a lot. I even opened some ventures such as renting comic books and handmade toys. Unfortunately, I was not a skilled artisan. However, fortunately, I was so eager to advertise them with the neighborhood that my neighbors bought in. None of them turned out successful, but the desire to open my own business has kept growing inside me. And then you develop your story further. Now, that writing is okay, nothing wrong with it, but not outstanding enough. You can also write in this way. Still the same story, but you can call yourself as a tiny businessman with giant desire. Or you can go a bit more risky by using the word tiny venture freak. Usually the word freak might sound a bit negative, but in this case, it would just emphasize how obsessed you were with business and venture, make a positive impression, and bring more life to your essay. That is about story, the key factor that decides if your statement of purpose is impressive. Now we move to the structure. If it is a prompted essay, then you don't need to worry about structure, as you can freely develop your own story and put more focus on how to make it interesting and colorful. But if it is an open essay, you better follow some structure, although it doesn't need to be strict. So I'm going to spend a little time to talk about the structure of an open essay. The first paragraph, remember that you need to grab the attention of the reader, so it's essential to make a good beginning. How can you do it? The story. Yes. Start with an interesting story about your past. Make it interesting, creative, and perfect. You would keep the reader stay with you. The second paragraph, you should talk about your present and how it is in relation to your opening. It would be nice to make another story, or if you can think of other ways to make your writing more interesting, please go ahead. The third paragraph, you say what you want to become, more or less like a career path. So in brief, that is what you want to do with your life in the future. It should also be connected with your past and present. The fourth paragraph, how the school, and particularly this course, will help you to achieve your goal. Now here's an example. Is a sample paragraph that you can use for this section. At blah blah blah, name the school. I would hope to study blah 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 by majoring in blah blah blah, so that I could explore my interest in blah 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 and possibly one day pursue a career as a blah blah blah. I believe that blah blah blah, name of the school again, is an ideal place for me to study blah 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 because blah blah blah. Now, I personally do not encourage you to just fill in the blanks and send it away. You gotta be careful so that you sound honest and not just write it to flatter your school. Do some research about the school and the course if you can. Write about their best points that you recognize and how they are relevant to you. That is how you show honesty. I have personal experience when recruiting people, and I could tell immediately that they did not do their research homework. They just downloaded a sample from the internet without understanding the company and the job that they were applying to. This makes really bad impression and gets them out of the list right away. So, when finishing watching this video, what should remain in your memory are honesty, interesting, and story. I hope you enjoyed it and really spent some time to review yourself, to write, revise over and over again. Don't forget to get someone to read it and comment on it, not to mention grammar, spelling, and typo mistakes that you gotta totally avoid. And then you can produce an impressive personal statement, feel proud of yourself, and have good fun when writing. Bye-bye!